I'm going to start off this video by saying that I know this is somewhat a controversial topic. The LED light is a privacy indicator that's designed to let others around you know that you're taking a photo or video. It kind of acts like a recording indicator light on a camera to let others know when the camera is actively recording. It's a mandatory feature in meta glasses that's there to follow laws and regulations that aims to prevent hidden camera recording in public or private spaces. It's also there to help with the public perception of the glasses by showing transparency and an ethical design to make them less controversial and more socially acceptable. All of that being said, there may be a situation where you want to block the LEDs. I know I found myself in a situation when I was on a dark ride at Disney and the only thing glowing was the light on my glasses. That was an easy fix though by just covering it with my finger. Basically my point here is that there are non-sketchy reasons for people to want to block the LED light. So this video is to show a few solutions that I found on Amazon that all work to a varying degree. Anyways, let's get started with the simplest solution, these LED light blocking stickers. So these stickers are similar to window tint. In fact, they might actually be window tint that's cut out. But either way, they're a perfect cutout for the light. Do they work though? That depends on the situation. I found that when I was in a bright environment, they worked fine. They also worked fine when I was in a dark room. Where I had issues with them was when I was in a dimly lit room. This is when I would get the verbal notification that the light is blocked, thus preventing recording. I found that the workaround for this was to cover the camera for a couple seconds when you press the shutter button. Then it would record without any issues. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a workaround to get the sticker to work when taking photos. Now since this is basically a tint for the light, you can still see it shining through. It's not as bright and noticeable as not having it covered though. If you get these, they usually come with a bunch of stickers. This one specifically comes with 100 of them, so you can just put them on and take them off whenever you need them. I like to give ratings when I'm making videos like these, so I'm going to give these stickers a 4 out of 5. They work like they're meant to. For me, it dims the light enough where they won't be as distracting, and they're very minimal. My biggest issue with these is that they're a little difficult to put on. I'm glad this comes in a pack of 100 because it takes me a few tries to finally get one perfectly on the light. These kept popping off and getting stuck to everything but the glasses. I had to use these tweezers over here to place the stickers, but yeah, it's kind of a pain. Could just be me though. Either way, let's take a look at the next item, this thicker sticker. This sticker is a thin piece of foam on a tiny U-shaped piece of plastic. It sticks out a little further, especially when compared to the tint sticker. When applying this, you want to have the open U section facing upward. It's designed like this in order to gather the light needed to allow the camera to still work. I had similar success with this sticker as I did with the tint. It worked fine in bright light and dark conditions, but not so much in dimly lit environments. Because the front of this sticker is a piece of foam, you can't see the light from the front. But this sticker introduces a different problem, because now you can see the light from the sides. In fact, it almost enhances the light on the sides. Okay, that's terrible. I'm gonna give it 2 stars, because in my example where I wanted to be more discreet on the theme park rides, this is now gonna annoy the person sitting next to me. Other than it fully blocking the light from the front, I don't think these are any better than the tint stickers, especially since I was getting the same results with both of them. This comes in a pack of 20, but they are easier to place with my bare hands, so I'm not wasting them like I am with the first set of stickers. Alright, next is another sticker that's pretty similar to the one we just looked at. This one is different by being a circular piece of plastic instead of foam or tint, and it sat on a tri-U-shaped translucent piece of plastic. This one sticks out even further from the glasses than the foam sticker. And being that it's translucent, it shows light even more on the sides compared to the U-shaped foam sticker. You would think that this would work better to gather light though, since it sticks out further and is translucent, but it was no better than the other 2 stickers that we just looked at. They still worked fine in bright and dark environments, but had issues when the area was dimly lit. Not much different with this sticker compared to the previous one, except that it's worse in all ways. 1 star. There's no real reason to go with this one over the previous U-shaped foam sticker. It comes with 10 stickers, so it's even less, but at least they're easy to align and put on your metas. But being that there's less surface area on the sticker, these come off super easy. Now I'm gonna have all these light blockers linked in the description, just don't buy these. Click the link if you're curious about them, laugh at it, just don't buy them. The next piece is finally not a sticker, it's this plastic light blocker. This only comes in a 2-pack, but it's super easy to put on and it's reusable. It sits around the LED light sensor and holds in place pretty well. Now of all the light blocking solutions we're looking at in this video, this one sticks out the furthest. This works similar to the others and has the same issues in dimly lit rooms. But the front of this light blocker has a cover that slides open in order to gather light from the front. And then once you start recording, you can place a cover back to cover the light and continue filming like normal. It works better for pictures too because you can just slide it open when you need light to take pictures, and then close it back up when you don't need it. It does reflect the light to the sides, but nowhere near as bad as the other stickers. It's really not that bad, to be honest. I like this one because it's reusable. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 though. Point taken off for it sticking out so far from the frame. I like how I don't need to cover the camera to make this work in low light environments. Just slide the cover open with the same hand I'm using to hit the shutter button and I'm good to go. But yeah, it just sticks out way too far. And now finally, I have this privacy cover. Okay, when I got this, it said it's an LED light privacy cover for Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. But when they arrived, it came in this packaging. It's literally just a webcam cover that's been marketed for Ray-Ban Metas. I like how they didn't even bother changing the packaging. But I guess if it's good to use on your laptop, it should be good for your Metas too, right? It's basically a sticker, but it's really easy to put on and line up with the light sensor. I'm not sure if it's the style of the headliners that I have, but there's no position I can place these where they won't stick out even a little bit beyond the frame. Looks aside, to make these work with the camera on your Metas, you'll have to open them up because they completely block the light. The best way to use this is to start recording and to cover the light back up once you're filming. This will definitely block out the light, which would solve my issue on the dark rides again at Disney. 1 star. Can I actually go lower than that in my graphic? If I can, make it half a star. I do not like these, even though they technically work the best at covering the light. They just don't look right on the Metas at all. Even the blockers that stick out, at least they somewhat look like they're part of the frame. These definitely look like you took them off your laptop and stuck them onto your glasses. These actually cost the most of all these solutions too, and you only get 3. They're not really reusable either, not like the light covers. But yeah, personally, I don't care that the light is there. I use prescription lenses in my Metas and they've become my daily wear when I'm out, especially when I'm traveling. I've taken them to monuments, casinos, clubs and bars, theme parks, and I've never had any issues with them. It definitely helps to respect the rules at these places too. At a couple places, especially bars, they don't really allow cameras. But even in those places, I was still allowed in them with my Metas. I have no problems letting them know that there's a camera in my glasses and I don't intend to use them, but they are prescription lenses. I think it also helps that we're still early in the life cycle of having cameras and glasses. I haven't had any problems recently, but once these get into more people's hands, especially those with ill intentions, we might start seeing more restrictions with them. I probably should have said this earlier, but the notification light on the inside can be covered with tape, paint, or whatever you can find. Covering this light won't affect the camera at all. You just won't actually know when you're recording a video or not. So yeah, don't be that guy that ruins it for the rest of us. Alright, I'm gonna go put these on my laptop. Not wasting my money. See ya. I gotta edit this later. But either way, let's go to the next item, this sticker. Which one am I talking about now? The sticker? I like to give ratings when I'm making videos like these. Do I? I'm Ron Burgundy? What did I write? Alright, so the next piece is finally not a sticker. It's this blocked by my cable. I like how I don't need to cover the camera to make this work in low environments. Low environments, not low light, just low environments. Not bad.